Hello, beautiful audience. Mark here from Present Day Production. Now, we haven't had a news episode for a while, and guess what? There's some news. So welcome to the news. Woo! Thanks, audience. Some sort of logo. First up, news of an exciting release from legendary British console manufacturer Solid State Logic. They've just announced their new UF8 DAW controller, which is available right now for the UK price of $9.99. This slots it in a slightly higher price bracket than other controllers on the market, such as the Icon QCon Pro, Presonus Faderport range and Mackie Control Universal, but slightly under the Avid S1 and way under the Avid S3 and SSL's very own Nucleus. We are particularly interested in this as we're currently refurbishing our main control room here, and we love a good DAW controller, and we're looking for something to take pride of place in the centre of our new setup here. We've had many controllers for doors through the doors over the years, including SSL's Nucleus, Slate's Raven and the Studio Live Series 3, and they've all had one thing in common: they didn't work very well. In the case of the original Nucleus, this was largely down to MIDI over Ethernet, the functionality of which was provided by a third-party piece of software. It was quite complicated to set up, and you had to start things up in a certain order. Sometimes. So you'd have to power up the Nucleus, disable Wi-Fi and then start up Logic on a Wednesday, but start Logic first, then power up the Nucleus, make sure Wi-Fi was on, but that you had no unread emails in your inbox on a Thursday, or so it seemed. All very wrong side of the brain stuff that killed any creativity pretty damn quickly. Indeed, the best controller I've ever owned was an original eMagic branded Logic controller back at the turn of the century. That you could fire up anytime, mid-playback if you wanted, and it would just work. And that's because it used MIDI over, wait for it, MIDI, using MIDI cables. At no point did it think it was a router or try to check your emails or log into a CCTV system. So it's good to see that SSL have ditched Ethernet and are using their own vMIDI control over USB. The UF8 speaks standard Mackie control, so should work with any major door, and it's a scalable, you can have up to 4, hardware control surface featuring 8 motorized faders, 8 LCD TFT screens, 8 endless rotary encoders, custom workflows, 43 user assignable keys, and a multi-purpose encoder that can emulate a mouse scroll to control your plugins. The only obvious thing that seems to be missing at first glance is a dedicated transport section. Now, you can get transport controls up on the function buttons at the top of the unit, but I've never been a fan of controls that do many different things depending on what options you have selected. One of the main benefits of a control surface for me is the development of muscle memory, the ability to mix with your eyes shut after a certain amount of time spent with one, and to try and remember where that option was, or that screen went, or where that submenu has disappeared to, is again all wrong side of the brain stuff. So I appreciate that this is built to a price point and therefore there isn't a main unit and extender units like many manufacturers offer. These are designed to be daisy chained together for up to 32 faders of control, and who'd want 4 sets of transport controls? But SSL, how about a standalone Nucleus style center section? One thing we did love about the Nucleus and the Matrix was the dedicated jog scroll wheel and those lovely chunky dedicated transport buttons, and we'd love to see a center section unit going to production for the UF8. Then I think we'd be approaching perfection. Anyway, we're quite excited about the launch of this, not least because we think it would suit our workflow very well, and we've reached out to SSL and asked us if they can send a review model, so watch this space. Second in the news are some new AI plugins from Focusrite. The FAST series of plugins are part of a new resource for music creators called The Collective. Priced at a very keen £5.99 and $5.99 per month, this isn't a subscription service but a hire purchase deal. After 15 months you qualify for free unlimited usage. The FAST range has been developed with Austrian DSP company Sonable and is aimed at getting inexperienced users up and running quickly with an equalizer, compressor and the reveal, a spectral ducker that reduces temporal masking on lead tracks. The AI capabilities listen to the source material based on what you've told the plugin that is, and in the case of the EQ on, say, an acoustic guitar track, it then offers handy controls such as picking body and air. So this could be a very useful learning tool for many, as well as a useful set of plugins in its own right. We're really interested in this, and we're going to take a deeper dive into FAST, so expect a dedicated video very soon. And finally, towards the end of last year, as I hoovered up a virtual hamster, we asked you to submit some demos to us for a production competition, and we received hundreds. So a huge thank you to everyone who took part. We spent many days whittling things down to a top 10, and then a top 5, and then a top 3, and we have a winner. And that winner is Peruvian-born Javier Carrillo. Javier submitted a song that he'd written, played and recorded entirely himself, and it made us all go a bit squidgy within the first few bars. It's a really beautiful song, but there's scope for improvement in the production. So we're going to work with him over the next few weeks to really coax the best out of it and really bring that emotion out. And with a smattering of added talent from a top UK musician or two, we're going to film the whole process and then upload that video to the channel for you, our audience. This is what that's about. We're really excited to get cracking on this, so make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and ding the ding dong to be notified of that. If you didn't win, it's probably because you're already too good. And the 2 other submissions that made the top 3, we also feel we can do something with. So if you submitted a song, keep your eyes on your inbox over the next few days, and we'll actually try to reply to all of you, because there were some really first-class entries in there. So thanks to everyone that submitted a demo. That's it for this episode. Remember, create, don't hate, and you'll see us in the next one. Cards, end cards. Now for that awkward bit where we have to do something where the end cards come up and we never know what to do because we're not very good at this. What about a joke? Joke? You want to hear a joke?
Yeah, go on.
What's this is my favourite joke. What's brown and sticky?
What?
A stick.
Oh, I never saw that one going.
Brilliant. A stick.